Hey listeners, what you're about to hear is an episode from our live recording in Hurst, Texas from the end of August. So that's why we haven't been releasing episodes on quite the normal schedule, because we did that significant event. It's taken a little while to get these put together. But what we wanted to highlight right now was the two sponsors who brought those episodes to you. And the first is Visual Theology. So Visual Theology is a really cool resource site for parents, student ministers, college ministers, Christian school teachers, bringing you biblical truths in really fresh and creative ways. So it's called Visual Theology because the idea is to put biblical truths that are usually taught doctrinally or out of the text into captivating, visually arresting means of understanding them. So turning parables and facts and studies and even genealogies and things like that into something that a student or yourself can look at and go, oh, now I get it. So check out visualtheology.church/happy. You can see the resources. You can also see that we have a 20% discount for our listeners there. There are posters that you can decorate a classroom with. There are books that are really great, like study guides and textbook kind of things. They have curriculum lines that are great for Bible studies, whether it's a new believer or just somebody who's looking to understand how Scripture works. How does this all fit together better? So again, it's visualtheology.church/happy. We have a 20% discount off of any purchase, and that can be used multiple times. You can use that using the code Happy Rant at checkout. So Happy Rant at checkout, visualtheology.church/happy is the URL. Be sure to check them out. Our second sponsor is Dwell Bible. Dwell is an audio Bible app. If you go to dwellapp.io/happyrant, that's dwellapp.io/happyrant, you can see the offer that they have for our listeners as well as check them out. Dwell is a great way to get Scripture into your life. For those who struggle with consistent reading or finding time, we're almost all either mowing the lawn or at the gym or spending time in the car. It's a great thing to do with kids. You can do it in the car with kids. They have a sleep timer set up, so you can set it up to listen as you fall asleep and it'll cut off on its own. They have a read and reflect or a listen and reflect option where you can listen and then there's a pause for memorization, for reflection, for prayer. They have a read-along option where you can read along with the text. And so you can really merge this into your Scripture habits in a bunch of different ways. But again, go to dwellapp.io/happyrant. There is a 10% discount off their annual subscription and a 33% discount off of their lifetime subscription, which is well worth it. They're constantly upgrading, adding narrators, adding Bible versions, adding reading or listening plans, I should say. So again, check them out, dwellapp.io/happyrant. Now, enjoy the episode.
Happy Rant.
All right, you guys, here's how this is going to go. We're going to do two full eps of about 35 to 40 minutes apiece. And then we're going to take a little break, and then we're going to have a third ep.
In the same way that a Calvinist pastor preaches for about 35 minutes?
Well,
or is this like an actual 35?
Yeah, this is an actual 35. Yeah, Calvinist pastor would be like an hour and 15.
Right,
so,
just checking.
We're going to do two eps, take a break. Then we're going to come back in for a little Q&A ep, little questions and answers. So dial up your questions. Everything's on the table. And we'll have you fire away question-wise. Piper, why don't you tell these good people about our sponsor?
Oh, we do have a sponsor. In fact, we have a sponsor here in person.
Doing business. Always doing business.
This fine live show is brought to you by Visual Theology. The folks who, if you've listened, you've heard about Visual Theology. They've been a partner with us for about a month now. The gentleman in the red T-shirt over here who's filming is Josh Byers.
Clap it up for Josh.
Visual Theology.
We're in the honeymoon stage with Visual Theology. We're like scheduling photo shoots.
Nothing's gone wrong yet. We're not saying anything.
We're texting a whole bunch. Yeah.
Because that's coming.
That's right.
Exactly.
He's still paying for our dinner.
We'll start taking each other for granted soon, but not yet.
No, but if you go to visualtheology.church/happy, you can see the discounts they have for our listeners, as well as see all of the products that they have. So there are books, there's curriculum, there's T-shirts, there's posters. There's a whole bunch of stuff that is great for people in ministry. So we encourage you to go there, visualtheology.church/happy. There's a 20% discount through that link as well if you use the code HappyRant at checkout as well. So be sure to check them out. We have giveaways from them at the Q&A time as well. So we will make those available to people who ask questions until we run out. So there's some shirts, there's some posters, there's some other goodies down there from them as well. So more incentive to ask us questions.
Is it really / are we so lazy that we just did it /happy? Couldn't even add the RANT on the end of that?
That's
I'm gonna plead the fifth on this and also not cast blame on anybody. They set this up and they made it real easy for people. It's a few letters you don't have to type.
When you say they,
are you insulting our sponsor?
Pipe, is it time to announce our new fashion relationship with Visual Theology? And that for the first time in the history of the program, we're taking on a new clothing provider.
I mean, we can tease it because there's still some questions about timing, but it's in the works. Part of the reason that Josh is here is to get footage and images to help launch a Happy Rant product line. So there will be various shirts and posters, etc., through his company later this fall. So
robes,
probably
slippers,
October,
housewares.
Yeah.
The whole nine.
Would you like a spatula? That could probably be arranged.
I would like a spatula
like
for
pancake flipping spatula or like scrape out the baking dish spatula?
I don't know. I have to talk to my wife.
All right.
He wants a spatula to push the plate away after 2 bites.
Just scrape it into the garbage.
Scrawny Martin.
Nice.
Let's clap it up for how thin Ronnie looks. He's looking scrawny today. The jawline's looking good, baby. I've spent the whole weekend watching Ronnie reject
trying,
food.
Man, those 19 plates of Tex-Mex I've had the last 3 days.
Those were incredible.
Haven't helped.
Dude, shout out to Buelos, our other sponsor.
The 19 plates you sat near.
Yeah, well,
absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Boys, we've got a good episode dialed up in that we planned this
isn't it.
roughly 2 hours ago. Yeah, this isn't it. It hasn't started yet, per se. Piper, you had a great idea at lunch to play this game called Hot or Not. We're going to walk through.
Can I give the backstory on Hot or Not for my fellow older millennials?
Yeah, give it.
You may remember this. When I was in college in the early 2000s, there was a website called hotornot.com. And you could put pictures, you could put your own picture there, and then people would thumbs up or thumbs down. It was like Tinder before Tinder, because you couldn't swipe and then connect to the person. You basically just got told, yes, you are attractive, or no, you are not attractive.
Did you ever do it? Did you ever put your picture in?
No, I never allowed my picture to be put there. I will claim no participation on this site whatsoever.
I wasn't allowed.
At a little school called Wheaton College, this thing did make the rounds.
Dude, John walked into your room and saw the screen was open on your computer. You minimized. Yeah.
Click. We put other people's photos up there and then sent them the results, especially if they were disappointing, or put unflattering photos up. So we're doing this with topics. This is basically is this a thumbs up idea? Is it coming back? Or is this a thumbs down idea? This thing is dead.
That's right. So we just vamped through a few topics at lunch that we thought would be intriguing to talk about. And we're going to kind of say whether or not we're holding our stock on these things or whether we're selling. The first one, this was one of mine, and it's kind of a divisive one. It's a little bit of a hot take. I think deep voices are going to come back. I think we're reaching the end of V-voice as a thing for dudes.
Which would be vulnerability voice, that sort of semi-effeminate, androgynous, up-talking voice that every podcaster who follows in the footsteps of Ira Glass does.
I'm giving it 9 more months. It's got a shelf life. I'm holding on to my deep voice stock. Your thoughts?
Ronnie, what do you think?
Baby, what's the future of V-voice? Just talk about it.
Or just do it. You're really good at it. You're really good at it? Yeah, you really are.
I'm really good at it.
I mean, when you say V-voice, are you talking about ending everything in a question?
Dude, can I say a thing to you about V-voice that I think you're going to find interesting?
You can?
Yeah. That Piper and I discussed off the air. So Piper and I listen to like all the same football podcasts. And even in the football podcast world, which you think would be
like a twinge coming through, huh?
There's more than a twinge, baby.
A twinge.
Yeah, there's several
takeover.
Football podcasters who have kind of like done the V-voice thing, and it's kind of taken over.
Yeah.
It sounds like I'm listening to like the NEF Downs podcast when I'm trying to hear about like who to start and sit in fantasy.
Yeah, so they're talking about offensive line play.
Right.
And And then the left guard pulls and just crushes this guy out to the sidelines, and then they're running stunts on the defensive line, and it's absolutely incredible. It's not it's very odd to find in a football podcast. So I am skeptical that 9 months is the shelf life on this thing, because if it has made it into football,
that's true.
It's a virus that has spread.
It's got legs.
Ooh, sorry. Trigger warning. Viruses. It's a virus that has spread through all the podcasting realm.
It's unbelievable you would use that word.
Yeah. Sorry, everybody.
Right now.
That's true.
It's an ugliness. These
perilous
I don't know,
times.
because here's the thing. It's like if you lower the register on the voice, if you become a little more definitive.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just going to be held, you know what I mean? Everybody can sort of...
You're going to be held in contempt.
They can push you against a corner.
You're going to be the oppressor again.
Right, and all that good stuff.
That's true. That's true.
So that's why I think it's going to last longer than 9 more months.
Roughly forever.
9 months.
Roughly 9 months, 10 weeks.
All right. Ron's taking roughly forever on V-Voice. Where are you at on it, Pipe?
But hold on, man. It's almost like, but it's like talking about it. It's a way that people talk. It's like a new way of talking that people have adopted.
That's right.
So it's not something that's just people are turning on. They're like being born with that voice now.
Well, and it's reinforced by every podcast and every piece of media that gets produced.
It's just a way of talking.
That's true. Yeah.
You didn't catch what I just.
No, I caught what you did.
Yeah, I think it will. See, here's the thing. There can be a both and. Assertive, deep voices can return, and that will still be a thing.
That's true.
There will be some conflict, but so I would say V-Voice not going anywhere.
All right.
We're stuck with it. Our kids will be talking this way when they're teaching lectures in college.
Not
someday.
my kids. Not my boys.
Them. But yes, I don't think it's going anywhere. But also, I think there will be a rise of people who sound like they mean what they say instead of wondering if they mean what they say.
Boys, I got another one to dial up for you. This one's in the realm of aesthetics, and it's a little apropos given where we're sitting. Ensconced in taupe. I'm calling my shot right now. I think from an aesthetic standpoint, we're 2 years away from hipster nonsense jumping the shark. So all the exposed wood and shiplap and ductwork and all the hipster crap that's dominated for the last 15 years. I think we're moving back toward this.
In the church world, you're talking.
In the church world.
Okay. I was going to say, shiplap's not going anywhere in houses.
No. But I think we're pivoting. We're going back to early 90s megachurch style. Because people want to be comfortable. Your thoughts?
Ronnie, what will it take?
Taupe and fake ficus trees. I'm hanging on to my stock.
Well,
that's all I'm saying.
Because all you're just describing is that's so not cool. It's cool now. Vibe and culture. You know what I mean? So that is hipster, right? So we're going to do something so ridiculous.
Yeah.
That it's not cool that
I think it has to be out long enough for it to come back. I'm not sure that it will have been, because people remember it from 7-8 years ago. I mean, Willow Creek still exists. There are still churches with that vibe.
Dude, girls at my college are wearing mom jeans and orthopedic shoes. I think 90s style megachurches are coming back. I feel bullish on this one.
Was that a style, or was that just an utter lack of style?
No, it was a style. It's there. I live with a woman who looks like that.
No. I'm talking about the church, not the clothing. I know the clothing thing is a style.
So what you're saying is the church we're in right now, it just should not change.
I think they should hang on to this.
There should be no extreme makeover happening.
They need to hold the fort for a couple more years, and
everything will be great.
Then everything will be great.
Yeah. Except for that little step down. Right,
I think
we bit of a liability deal.
I think we need to get
at
back
the end
to
of the day.
70s.
Guys, take a look at the step here on the side where it's a little bit of a blind leap. I'm not talking about a blind leap of faith, or am I? Right, when you have to step down.
Dude, Ryan literally just posted his resume on ministryjobs.com.
Ryan, sorry.
He put in his 2 weeks. I saw him hand it over to Andrea.
Baby, I got a church at home. We need a guy like you. So just you can just pack it up and fly home with us if that's what it takes.
Ashland, Ohio, beautiful
I think
city.
what's more likely than that coming back is the sort of 60s and 70s with lots of burgundy and sky blue and
Well, I mean, the 70s is kind of
blonde and orange wood pews. That aesthetic in churches.
We're gonna have macrame, plants just hanging all over the sanctuary, and
I'd be into
all
it.
that stuff.
Yeah.
I know you'd be into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, boys. I got another one that's a little more it speaks to how we do discourse and rhetoric. I think directness is going to come back. I think it's going to make a comeback. We're kind of in we're Apex Mountain for milquetoast right now, and talking and not saying anything. I think
an apex of milquetoast. It's completely level.
Exactly.
It's just flat.
I think directness is going to make a comeback. I think people are going to start.
What do you mean when you say directness?
People saying exactly what they think. And not trying to like read the cultural tea leaves and like speak exactly to that thing.
Oh, Doug Wilson is so happy to hear that. He'll be in vogue.
Hold on to that Dougie Fresh stock. It's going to go through the roof.
Oh, it's through the roof all right, man.
Is it through the roof already?
Yeah, a burning building that's just crumbling at the seams. You know?
Yeah, of a burning Chevrolet.
There you go.
I don't think culture can handle directness.
Yeah? Why not?
Because V-voice is still a thing, and that's not just a voice. It's a whole personality. It's
true.
where you have to pose your opinions as options and questions, not a statement of fact or a statement of that I'm going to back this thing up. People are threatened and offended when you state things directly. I get so much, tell us what you really think. Because people are stunned when you're like, well, this is just this fact. Or this
and they're a little
opinion.
offended. They're a little taken aback.
Yeah,
by
they're
it.
on their heels.
Wait a minute. Are you saying like you're saying what you really think, but they can't believe that you're actually saying what you really think?
Yeah, it's like it breaks the paradigm in their brain that somebody would say this.
Like,
full stop
so
statement.
when someone's sitting in front of you and you're like, dude, I like you. And they're like, tell me what you really think.
No,
and you're like,
it's more
no,
like-
I like you.
It's more like, that song sucks. And they're like, whoa, tell us what you really think. And I'm like, how? I mean, profanity? What's more what I think? I don't know where to go from
That song
here.
bleeping sucks.
That's right. So, yeah, I mean, it's the people are not accustomed to a direct opinion that just stands on its own 2 feet, as opposed to, I have some thoughts about that song. I think I don't love it.
Yeah.
And you kind of gently tiptoe around what you mean instead of just being like, that song's it's the worst.
I have a
it
serious
sucks.
question to the both of you as men of the cloth, and I'm the only resident non-man of the cloth on this program. So
Should have worn my collar.
yeah, if we believe some things, right? If we believe some things that maybe we believe with all our heart that we're not willing to move on, in this culture of like milquetoast and appeasement that we're in, like what does that look like for us? How do we do that well? How do we navigate it well? How do we not like put people off, but how do we remain the kinds of people that are able to say what we believe and say it with conviction?
I think confidence is compelling. I think there's a difference between shoving things down people's throats and stating something and saying, I believe this, full stop. And that will put some people off especially because Christianity by itself is an exclusive, it claims exclusivity. You are, by saying, I believe this, you're saying, therefore, I believe everything else is not true. So you're kind of, no matter how you say it, you're saying something that's off-putting and direct. But that doesn't mean you have to be a tool about it, or aggressive, or mean, or nasty, but just simply, it's more like holding the line than it is going on the attack.
Well, yeah, because how you say what you say matters. It's how people can receive what you say too.
Yeah.
So say it direct, say it with confidence, but you can also say it with graciousness. I think. But I mean, I think we've had a few examples over the years of a graceless directness, which just
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't. Nobody probably knows what I'm talking about.
The rise and fall
I'm only thinking
that
of
one
27
place.
names right now.
Yeah.
And I don't know. That just hasn't done a lot for kingdom advancement. It feels like. Baby, is there something you would like to say direct that's just been eaten at you that you would love to
I do, and actually it
feel cathartic.
It dovetails into the next one, which is, I think maybe a lot of those guys have done a lot for like kingdom advancement. And, you look at the whole body of work, obviously, right? And maybe you're taking some good with some bad. This speaks to the next hot or not. And it's reformed stuff. So I kind of came in, I was like a child star in the early years of the reform movement.
You got hooked on cocaine and
exactly
antidepressants.
After all the cocaine and the decadence, and I'm kind of climbing back up now. But
therapists are really proud of you, by the way.
we're in a little bit of a bottoming out of reform stuff. Yeah. Like it's never been less cool to be like a reform guy out loud, and it's very cool to like crap all over reform guys and on podcasts and just like take shots at reformdom. It's the easiest, like lowest hanging fruit there is. My theory is, we're going to see another like apex mountain for reform guy stuff. I think we're about to see it tick back up. Piper, you were born into reform guy stuff.
Yeah,
You've been closer to this than any of us.
I
Your
don't
thoughts?
think it's coming back.
You don't?
I think you're wrong.
Talk about that. Yeah,
See,
let's
there we
go, man.
Tell me what you really think.
No, this is good. I like this. Now we're really talking.
I think it's not coming back because I think the church is too fragmented for there to be a movement around that. Okay. So when the whole Young Restless Reformed thing took off, there was sort of this like that was milquetoast Christianity too. It was mega church, nominal, kind of theologically limp across the United States. And so all of a sudden there was these voices, my dad being one of them, who were kind of breathing fire into this and and it spread.
Yeah.
You start breathing fire now and people already feel burned down. They're already fragmented. There's animosity. They're sick of the other camps.
Yeah.
I think it only pushes things further away. I think so. I think there are going to be people who want to see that happen, and they're going to be the sort of hellfire and brimstone. I mentioned Doug Wilson earlier. People like that who are like, we're going to start a movement and take over this town in Idaho. Why Idaho? I don't know. But
cheap real estate. Shout out Idaho. You're a lovely place.
Because that's where a lot of weird compounds are. But there's I don't think that's going to take off. I don't know what the next movement is, but I think that will only drive wedges. Not because even like all the people who still are reformed, like us, who came up in that, wouldn't necessarily jump on board. A lot of us would be like, nah,
they got to have the right celeb. They got to have somebody young with some upside that they can hitch the wagon to. Baby, you move in the world of reformed celebs. You kind of keep your finger on the pulse of this. Who's the young guy? Who's the young guy with upside? Like Who's like rookie card should we be buying so that we can hang on to it for when Reformdom pressed again?
Okay, so to your point and to Pipe's point, there's less of a desire for tribalism now. Would you agree with that, Pipe? There's more of a desire to say, hey, just because you think a little bit differently on some of these key points, it doesn't mean that we can't agree on a lot of like other things and work together on some things. I mean, you're seeing this on social media, right? Like. People that aren't reformed, people that are reformed, depending on what kind of reformdom they're sort of they ascribe to. I mean, they're holding hands with people that aren't as staunchly reformed as them. You may have not seen that like 10 years ago.
I think that's true, but also there's the whole sort of easily offended cancel culture. You say one thing wrong, we write you off type of thing, which means that while we don't have the desire for tribalism, we're ready to be done with people with one misstep. So it's just, what looks like unity is super fragile because it's like, oh, we agree about so many things. You said what? Done. Then all of a sudden it's. So I don't think that we're necessarily moving closer to a movement built around common beliefs. I'm generally cynical about the direction of Christian unity in the United States right now. But
we couldn't catch that at all.
Yeah, I don't know. Sorry if it wasn't coming through. I'll tell you what I really think. So I think you're right in the sense of people have looked at the tribalism and said net negative. But I don't think that they've come up with a better alternative where they say, let's unify around something meaningful, because they're still not ready to kind of join arms with those who don't agree with them.
No, right. So I'm not trying to go that global with it. I'm simply saying that there are people right now that are trying to buddy up with Beth Moore on Twitter that 5 years ago would have never done that.
My question to you is,
they're good with it. They love it.
Why are they trying to buddy up to Beth Moore on Twitter? Like, what's the end game there?
I mean, I think there's a lot of end game there when Beth Moore has like 250
billion followers,
and she will kind of buddy up with anybody.
Serious question though.
Are you? By the way, I'm not Beth Moore's buddy on Twitter.
No, that's not where I was going.
I'm sad about that every day.
Yeah, exactly. Not for lack of effort, baby.
Not for lack of effort.
You've been getting the reps in.
I'm at Beth Mooring it every single chance I get, and there's just been zero response.
You've got a reminder on your phone. Retweet Beth Moore.
Retweet Beth Moore.
Look like Big Sweetie. Stop.
Give Beth Moore a call. Invite Beth Moore over for dinner.
That's right.
Send that book proposal to Beth Moore for a co-author. None of it's working.
My question to you guys, though, like we're being haha about it, but people are doing that, and I assume Beth knows that she's being leveraged all over the place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My question to you guys is, and maybe this is too high concept, how do you think she feels about it? And how do you guys feel about it? Just that dynamic being at play. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'll take it a step further. Like, using Beth Moore to get my own likes seems like the least feminist-friendly thing imaginable. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're leveraging a woman to get strangers to like you. That seems not very like.
Well, it's like having that it's like having a token friend. So
Yeah.
I respect one woman.
I feel like Beth Moore is
that
like
kind of thing.
2 million people's token friend.
So
you know what I mean?
When I see people do this whole like try to buddy up to Beth, it reminds me of, you know, you got like the senior in high school, stud football player, homecoming king, and he has the little neighbor kid who grew up across the street from him, who's an incoming freshman, and they pass each other in the hallway, and he's like, hey, and just trying, like, all he's looking for is a, hey, bud, like just a recognition that he exists.
Yeah.
Everybody
I'm
buddying,
that kid with Beth Moore.
Yeah, everybody buddying up to Beth
Token
Moore
freshman
is the
kid right here.
incoming
Let's clap it
freshman.
up for him. Baby, you're doing a great job.
Still waiting for that hey buddy.
We're
from
gonna
Beth
get you
Moore.
that. We're gonna get you that hey buddy and that book deal with Beth.
And the thing is, I think she knows that she is that senior who can make people feel really good by going, hey, what's up? And like, that's all it takes. And so she's just nice. And she's like, sure, what's up? Like, she's not.
There's a genuineness with
Yeah.
her. I don't think she's that clinical about any of it. I think,
About anything. Yes,
Yeah.
that's true.
Maybe
And
that's
again,
my
you don't-
problem.
you
I'm
don't have to be
overthinking it.
when
I'm
you're
too
Beth Moore.
clinical
You don't
about
have to be.
Wait, you're overthinking something?
Yeah. It's
Shocking.
the air I breathe.
But no, but I think I think there's something to be said to that because there's something disingenuous
Yeah, it's fake.
about that. But at the same time, you know, there's never been a time that people could know Beth Moore to the extent that they know her than they can on social media right now in terms of interaction.
I want to know what those
know?
people do. So say they tweet at Beth Moore, she responds and is like, you know, gives like a laughing emoji at a joke they made or whatever. Do they then go tell their friends?
Yeah.
Like they go off Twitter and they're like, hey guys, guess what happened? You won't believe it.
Pipe, do I need to describe to you the kind of party?
Baby, seriously,
that I would
describe it.
have If she,
Yes, I do need
she,
you to describe this party.
if she fist bumped
Indeed.
emoji'd me back. you know,
Yes,
right.
describe the party.
Dude, you guys got to
In
walk
full.
me through this. Like, how long? Serious question
just
here.
kidding.
No, I know you're kidding, but like, I want to go into like the pathology behind this. So let's say you retweet a Beth Moore thing, and you even put your own little clever witticism in there, like one line or whatever, and she gives you a fist bump emoji or like the laughing so hard I'm crying thing. Like, at what level does that make you feel good? Like, compare it to something else, and then next question: how long do you feel good about it?
And then
great question.
one more
Yeah.
question. How mad do you get when she doesn't do it the next time you retweet her with your witticism?
Yeah, I don't know.
This is all directed right at you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thanks for putting me on the spot like that. I mean, it would feel, I don't know, it would feel as good as any acknowledgement that you get from a person. I think if it lasts more than, you know, a second and a half, that feels weird. You know, it would just be like, oh, that's cool. She acknowledged something I said or something I agree, you know, something I was bringing attention to. I probably would, to be honest with you, Big T,
Yeah.
I would be like, that's super weird. Why did she just do that?
Sure.
Who paid her? Like, how did I get, like, what happened right there for that?
But you are hunting for it. I don't mean you, but like the you who does
Yeah.
that thing, who's retweeting it. You are hunting for the reply. You want that. So you wouldn't think it was that weird.
Well, I would never think it would come from B More, so it would be like, it would just be it would be a real surprise. Again, I'm the freshman,
Yeah.
you know, just waiting for the hey buddy. You know,
Little-
so for me personally,
Little older looking freshman. You
yeah, right,
matured
a little
quickly.
older, right? Premature gray freshman.
That's right.
But yeah, I just think I'd be like,
Who's
shocked.
Who's the highest level Christian celebrity you've gotten like the hey buddy from on Twitter? The one that made you feel real good,
Beth Moore.
or like most recent.
Yeah, ask Pipe, Beth Moore.
Has he gotten a hey buddy
Beth
from Beth
Moore or
Moore? He's
John
just not
Piper?
saying.
Him? I don't.
Yeah.
Him? I don't know.
No, I got nothing, boys.
Yeah.
I got nothing.
It's crickets out there for
It's
you,
crickets.
baby. Yeah. Have you gotten a hey buddy from somebody that made you like truly
I mean,
excited?
other than Beth Moore.
You've gotten hey buddy from Beth Moore.
Sure.
That's big. Nice.
I mean, this is
That's
cheating.
good, baby.
Beth Moore and my dad know each other, so
Well,
this isn't like.
you know. Has she done meals at your house?
No, they just speak together at certain
Okay.
conferences and stuff. And
Interesting.
So she
Yeah.
just is aware of the.
So in other words, we don't really count it.
yeah, just
We
cheating.
don't count it.
It's like Auntie Beth. It doesn't really.
What's the biggest one that we would count?
I don't know. Matt Chandler.
Matt Chandler, who's going to be here tonight.
Tim Keller's account, even though.
I'm looking at I've had one eye on the door the whole time. I want to see Reformedum's frat boy walk in with some free steaks tonight. He's our quarterback.
Dude, Matty
he's our
Chan's-
prom king, doggone it. And he's
Matty
going to be
Chan's
here.
gonna show up.
He is going to show up.
Yeah, that.
Fingers
that,
crossed.
Yeah, that would be flustering if he walked in.
Would it?
For me, yeah, that would be.
Now, Pipe, I gotta.
I mean, we just make fun of him for 15 minutes.
I gotta do 1 minute on that
Out of
because,
defense.
and this is a compliment. I don't think I've ever seen you flustered. You strike me as a very like in command of the moment.
Unflusterable.
Yeah, unflusterable. That's a good word, Ronald.
If it's not a word, I just made it up.
Not usually by famous people.
Okay.
No.
So Channy's fame would fluster you, or some other aspect of
You've
Channy's
like hung out with
person?
Maddie Chan.
I would immediately wonder what jokes we could make about him, and then probably go for it anyway, because that's what I do when I meet people. I'm like, well, I'll make fun of you, and then we'll determine if we can be friends or not.
That's true. How they
would probably
respond
go
is
there.
everything.
Yeah, and if they
Yeah.
respond poorly, well, that was never going to be
It's
a
going to be
friendship anyway.
it's going to be a wrap on the friendship.
Yeah, that was it.
Be like me and Beth Moore.
You and Beth.
She
ships
responded
passing
badly,
in the night.
not friends.
Man, anything more on Beth Moore? I feel like.
What else you got? What's some mere material?
Don't you think though that like all these guys, and I don't know why I'm so hung up on this, man. Maybe we'll cut this out in post. But
We
like
won't. We don't cut anything in
all
post.
these dudes, all these like 35-year-old dudes like leveraging Beth Moore, I feel like it's crass. It's so like transparent. You know what I mean?
It's tokenism.
It's tokenism. Thank
It's
you.
like saying I have a black friend,
Right.
except it's like I have a tweet at Beth Moore. It's like that, except lower and cheaper and more meaningless.
Yeah.
It is utter I think it is utter posturing as, look, I'm open-minded. I'm a white middle-class reformed male who is open-minded because I tweeted this acceptable lady.
That's
Or
it.
it's just celebrity though too, because
That
she
helps.
is kind of an evangelical celeb. So it really is just saying like I kind of I've come into contact with a celeb, which is
Oh, sure. People love to walk in the glow of celebrity,
Yeah.
be in the
But she's
presence
made
of.
herself accessible. So she kind of crossed this threshold the last couple of years where she kind of made herself accessible to, kind of the Reformed tribe and kind of all the tribes and just said,
Dude, why would
kinda
she
like,
do
here
that?
I am.
If I was a celeb, like the goal would be inaccessibility. I feel like that's when you really feel famous. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, and that's the new celeb. The new celeb culture is accessibility, at least in terms of social.
I actually, again, serious thought, and I want to hear
Yeah.
you on this because you grew up in music and you care about music, and I feel like the music worlds and the sports worlds are pretty similar in terms of the pathologies at work. I hate the accessibility. You know what I mean? I liked it better when I thought, my hero was heroic.
Well, because we grew up in an era where accessibility meant you weren't as famous.
That's it.
Because you're now, if you're accessible, it means that you lack particular kind of fame quotient.
Right.
So accessibility means, man, if you're touchable, it means you're not untouchable. And untouchable is what celebrity actually is.
That's what it used to mean for us.
That's what
that
it was.
was the dream. Yeah.
So to be able to have that kind of accessibility, it's kind of it doesn't compute for us a little bit.
Yeah. No,
It just seems like, I guess in some ways it's better in the sense that these people can become more human and real. But the whole point of
Because
celebrity,
everyone is human and real on social media.
That's right.
Yeah, their presentation of themselves is so genuine.
Nothing is crafted or fake, you know?
Well, you know what I'm saying though. But so when you see some of these celebs tweeting out things and they're talking about their emotions and their feelings, when in any other era would you have been able to know that and you know that?
Yeah.
I hate that. It's
However
so
genuine
exhausting.
it is. However genuine it is. You would unless they did a People magazine interview. Is that still a thing? But
I want it to be a thing.
You would have never.
I'm hanging on to
known.
my People magazine stock. I love People.
It's coming
You
back.
still have a stack of Peoples from 19.
I like that photo section in the front where it's like they're walking their dog or they're getting a coffee.
Like celebrities.
I'm
they're
drawn
just
in
like
by
you.
it. Yeah, they're just like us.
That's not People. That's Us Weekly. Big diff.
People does that too, though. Yeah, but
Big
you're
diff
right.
between Us Weekly and People.
Us Weekly does a solid job.
Guys,
Shout
let's
out Us
keep that
Weekly.
square right now. You can read People and go, hey, guess what? No shame, I read People. When you say Us Weekly, you have to sort of put your head down and then run.
Product idea. I know you love magazines. I love magazines as well. This is an idea for the company. We put out the reform version of Us Weekly, and we have that little photo section, and it's Maddie Chan hurting his
D.A. Carson unmade up.
Yeah, D.A. Carson unmade, right? No makeup, you know.
D.A. Carson, he's just like us.
Puts his Dockers on one leg at a time.
That's right. He puts his sweater vest on one armhole at a time.
John Piper in his vegetable garden.
Exactly. Dude, who else would be in that photo section, and what would they be doing?
Oh, dude. I mean, we got Chan herding cattle.
Chan
we got
herding
Piper
cattle.
doing his boxed vegetable garden.
Box garden. Is your dad doing a little box garden?
No, he does a lot of yard work.
We got
There we go.
Carson walking down the street holding an ice cream cone.
Yeah.
D.A. Carson, he's just like us.
Wearing a
Didn't we have,
mask because it's
D.A. Carson in
Canada.
a
He's shoving it
barbershop
into the
bit
mask.
4 or 5 years ago.
What?
There was some sort of D.A. Carson barbershop thing that we I don't remember. It just popped into my head. I think D.A. Carson getting a haircut would be like...
Yeah,
That would be
this is the thing.
fascinating, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we all know he's never cut his hair.
He'd be tough to please.
Tim Keller, what is like doing the dishes? What does he do?
Yeah, man, for sure. Tim Keller with like his grandkid on his knee.
Doing the dishes in that New York flat.
Right,
You know?
exactly.
I like that.
Flying a
disheveled
kite in Central
kitchen.
Park.
Yeah, flying a kite in Central Park.
Yeah, exactly.
Playing in like the Entertainers League for softball, you know. Bette Midler's catching. He's digging in, you know. He's got a hitter's count, everybody.
That one got me.
Who else? Who are we leaving out? What about Beth Moore? What's she doing? Tweeting?
She's like in her chicken coop, like feeding her little yellow
I
hens.
think she actually like lives on a farm, so that's you know.
That's not a big
Yeah.
stretch. Yeah.
Yeah. I like that magazine, though. I think that's got legs.
I think that was it. That was the one edition. That was it.
No, but we would do it People Magazine style, where like we'd have vapid like 800-word features that say nothing.
It sounds like the Gospel Coalition.
Oh, easy.
Somebody's bitter at TGC.
Somebody's not trying to get paydays from TGC anymore.
Oh, do they?
Somebody's
pay?
not
I
writing
wasn't
for
aware.
TGC.
I thought they
Yeah.
asked everybody to
Somebody
write for free.
hates TGC. It's not me.
That's right.
TGC.
TGC family, if you're
TGC,
listening.
it's not Ronnie Martin.
I want to see you apologize just to see if you can still publish for them like once
At
every 2 years.
TGC, not Ronnie Martin.
Baby, are you still getting a little cashiche from TGC? A little
have.
crackle?
No,
I
they
never
don't pay
have.
anybody. That's why I don't
Baby,
write
I think
for
you're
them
the only
anymore.
one that's ever gotten a little cash from TGC back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was on social media, I'd flex about it.
They have 36-year-old pastors of mid-sized churches across the country beating down the door to write 800-word posts that have already been published for them. Like they don't need to pay anybody.
That's true. That's true. I'm bullish on our magazine. What are we calling it? Let's do a little titling, and then we'll move on.
At TGC.
Them Weekly.
Them Weekly. I like it. I'd read that.
Them Weekly.
Yeah, I'd read it.
Are we still hot or not, or what are we moving on to?
I think we're about to wrap the ep because we're getting into like 30, 40-minute territory. I've got one more.
Okay.
This one's controversial. This one's hard to talk about given who my employer is a little bit.
Who is your employer?
And given the kind of room that we're in and the kind of church that we're in, I brought this to the table at lunch today. We're kind of in this moment where reform dudes are like, here, try my $94 glass of bourbon. It tastes like a cup of nails, but it's amazing, you know? So we're kind of in that like craft bourbon.
That's what you've heard anyway.
Yeah, so I hear. We're in that craft bourbon moment of reformdom. I think teetotaling is going to come back. I think like Christian dudes not drinking is going to come back.
Alcoholics.
Well, yeah, that's true. There's some like,
The whole bourbon industry is going to go down if that happens. You realize that.
I feel like we're the only three like middle-aged white guys who don't have a craft bourbon company at this point. You know, I feel like we missed the boat on it.
But somebody wanted us to do like a Happy Rant barrel pick. I mean,
Man,
you show
there
up.
is my employer. Although you guys are free to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
You can pursue it on your own, I guess.
I don't think teetotaling's coming back. I think people not making a big deal out of drinking, and that may already be here. But like, I was just having this conversation with who was that? I don't remember. But it was about sort of like, why is drinking such a big deal in the church still?
I think not making a big deal out of it is the new making a big deal out of it.
But I mean, it's lesser a big deal than it's ever been.
Sure.
Think about any interaction you've had with anyone who went to a Christian college in the last 20 years. You go over to their place, they're like, hey, I mean, we could, you know, like, I don't have a problem with it. And it's this huge,
You gotta,
like,
you gotta qualify.
yeah, you got to
6
qualify
times.
it. Yeah, they're doing like 20 minutes on it. Like
Sort
they
of the whole
prepared.
Seinfeld. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
I mean, I've got no issue with it. Here's 30 pages I wrote about it. You can read check out the footnote on the third
Check out the
page.
transcript.
You know,
I just-
yeah.
Also,
check out
here's a
the
I wrote on the
catalog, here's
way
a
here.
catalog of my
Exactly.
bourbons. Yeah.
Here's a catalog of my bourbons, no flex, you know. But hey, you do what you want. I'm not making a big deal out of
I
it.
mean, I'll pour it all out right now if it offends you.
Exactly.
No, they won't do that. That's like $7,000 in their cabinet.
And they're still cheap, man. Christians are still cheap. I'm holding on to my evangelical stock. That's never changing.
Yeah, that's true. Money will never get normal for us.
You guys, we've done what we always do, in that we've wandered to and fro throughout Hot or Not. I'm calling it a wrap for this episode. Are we comfortable with that?
Ready to take a break?
Yep.
Let's take a little break. Let's do this, you guys. All right, we're in this thing together now, okay? Here's what I want you to do. I'm going to wrap the episode here in a minute. I want you to get up, walk around, go have a snack or what have you. Come back in here. What time, Pipe? Should we bring him back in?
7:50.
7:50, come on back in. We're going to dial up another episode, and then we're going to dial up our Q&A app. So give yourselves a hand for coming. Thank you so much for coming out. We love you guys. We love Dallas. We love Hurst, which is a suburb of Dallas that we're in right now. And
It's a little macabre, the name of the town.
Hurst.
Truthfully.
No, it's Hurst.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Hurst. That would be funny, dude. That is a little macabre. But you know what? You give me a lot to think about.
I know.
Yeah.
I know I just did. I know. It's funny that didn't dawn on you.
Yeah. Thank you for the call.
You're welcome.
Boys, we've done what we always do, in that we've wandered to and fro throughout a few topics that we brought to the table at lunch. And until next time.
The Happy Rant is brought to you by Resonate Recordings. If you go to resonaterecordings.com, you can see the full range of services they offer. So if you're considering starting a podcast, they are the ones we recommend going with. Again, go to resonaterecordings.com to see their prices, to connect with them and ask any questions, and to see what they can do to help you launch, edit, master, and improve your podcast. Again, go to resonaterecordings.com to see what they can do to help you launch and improve your podcast.